My name is Ayan, and if you had asked me a year ago what betrayal feels like, I would have said it's loud, obvious, and impossible to miss. I was wrong. Sometimes betrayal is quiet. Sometimes it happens across a dinner table, with a smile on someone's face while everyone else is clapping for something that was never theirs to claim. And sometimes the truth doesn't come out right away. But when it does, it changes everything. It started on a Sunday evening. My parents had invited a few relatives over for dinner. It wasn't anything unusual, just one of those gatherings where everyone talks a little too much, laughs a little too loudly, and compares their lives without saying it directly. My sister Zara arrived late, like she always did. She walked in confidently, her heels clicking against the floor, holding her phone like it was part of her identity. Sorry, she said, brushing her hair back. Big day. My mom smiled proudly. Of course it was. Come sit. I was already at the table, quietly helping set the plates. Zara glanced at me for a second. Still doing the setup thing, huh? She said lightly. I forced a small smile. Someone has to. Dinner started normally. Small talk. Updates. Laughter. Then my uncle leaned forward. So, Zara, he said, your mom told us you've been working on some kind of business idea? I paused. Zara didn't. She straightened up, her eyes lighting up like she had been waiting for that exact moment. Oh, yeah, she said casually. It's a digital platform for small repair services. You know, connecting local technicians with customers who need quick fixes. My fork stopped midair. She continued. It's simple but scalable. I've been planning it for months. The room went quiet for a second. Then the reaction started. That's brilliant, my aunt said. Very practical, my uncle added. Beta, this is exactly what people need, my mom said proudly. I looked at Zara.
She didn't look at me.
She just kept talking. It's all about trust and accessibility, she said. People don't know who to call when something breaks. This platform solves that. My chest tightened. Every word she said, I had said before.
To her.
Months ago. Late at night, sitting in the living room, explaining my idea while she scrolled through her phone, half listening. Or, at least I thought she was. I put my fork down. Zara, I said quietly. She glanced at me. Yeah. That idea, I hesitated. We talked about it before. She smiled slightly. Yeah, you mentioned something similar, she said. But I developed it further. The table fell silent. My father looked at me. What do you mean? He asked. I swallowed. I've been working on that concept for almost a year, I said. I even showed her my notes. Zara let out a small laugh.
Come on, Ayan, she said.
Lots of people have ideas. It's about execution. I know, I replied, trying to stay calm. But this isn't just a random idea. It's the same structure, the same features, even the name you just mentioned. Okay, she interrupted, her tone sharpening slightly. Are you saying I copied you? I didn't answer immediately, because the truth was, I didn't want to say it out loud. But everyone was already thinking it. I'm saying we discussed it, I said carefully. And now it sounds exactly the same. Zara leaned back in her chair. This is ridiculous, she said. You never actually did anything with it. That doesn't mean. It means you had an idea, she cut in, and I turned it into something real. Her words hit harder than I expected. Not because they were loud, but because they were said so easily. Like it didn't matter. Like I didn't matter. My mom stepped in. "Bas, enough," she said. "This is not the time." But the damage was already done. The rest of the dinner felt distant. People changed the topic. Plates were cleared. Conversations continued. But something had shifted. And I could feel it. After everyone left, I stayed in the kitchen, washing dishes. Zara walked in a few minutes later. "You didn't have to do that," she said. "Do what?" I replied without turning around. "Make it awkward at dinner." I stopped washing for a moment. "Awkward," I repeated. "You took my idea and presented it like it was yours." She sighed. "Ayan, you're overreacting." I turned to face her. "Am I?" "Yes," she said. "Because you never did anything with it." "I was working on it." "For how long?" she asked. "A year?" "And still nothing." I didn't respond. She stepped closer. Look, she said, her tone softer now. I didn't steal anything. I just didn't let it sit in a notebook. I felt something inside me tighten. It wasn't just a notebook, I said. It was something I believed in. She shrugged. Then you should have acted on it. And just like that, she walked out. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because of what she said, but because a small part of me wondered if she was right. Maybe I had waited too long. Maybe I had been too careful, too slow. But another part of me refused to accept what had happened. Because ideas matter, effort matters, and trust matters. The next morning, I opened my laptop. I stared at the folder named Project Linkfix. That was the name I had come up with. The same name Zara had used at dinner. I opened the files. Pages of notes, wireframes, user flow diagrams, even a basic prototype I had built months ago. I hadn't shown it to many people, but it was real. And for the first time, I realized something. I didn't need anyone's approval. I just needed to move. So I did. Over the next few weeks, I worked harder than I ever had before. Long nights, early mornings, coffee that went cold before I could finish it. I refined the platform, simplified the design, reached out to local technicians. Some ignored me, some said no, but a few said yes. And that was enough. One evening, Luis, an old friend who worked in repairs, called me. "You're serious about this?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. He paused. "Then I'm in." That was the first real moment it felt like something was happening. Not just an idea, but something alive. Meanwhile, Zara's version of the platform started gaining attention. She posted about it online, shared updates, talked about partnerships. From the outside, it looked like she was ahead. And maybe she was. But I wasn't chasing her. Not anymore. I was building something that felt right to me. 3 months later, I launched. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. Customers could book services. Technicians could accept jobs. And most importantly, people started using it. Slowly at first, then steadily. One afternoon, my father walked into my room. "I saw your website," he said. I looked up. And I asked. He nodded slowly. "It's good." That meant more than he probably realized. A few weeks later, something unexpected happened. One of Zara's clients contacted me. "I tried her platform," he said, "but the service wasn't consistent." I didn't say anything. "I heard yours is better organized," he added. That was the moment things started to shift. Not dramatically, but noticeably. Then came the day everything changed. Another family dinner. Same table. Same people. Different energy. This time, my uncle spoke first. "Ayan," he said, "I heard about your platform." I glanced at Zara. She was quiet. "It's growing," I said. He smiled. "I also heard something else." "What?" I asked. "That you had this idea long before." The room went still. I didn't respond. Then my father spoke. "I saw his initial plans," he said, "months before any of this." My mom looked at Zara. "Is that true?" Zara didn't answer immediately. For the first time, she looked unsure. She started. But the words didn't come out. The silence said enough. And in that moment, the truth didn't need to be explained. It was understood. No arguments. No confrontation. Just quiet realization. After dinner, Zara came up to me. "I didn't think it would turn out like this," she said. I looked at her. "What did you think would happen?" She didn't answer. "I should have handled it differently," she admitted. I nodded. "Yeah," I said. We stood there for a moment. Not enemies, but not the same as before either. Because some things don't go back to how they were, but they can still move forward. That night, as I sat in my room, I realized something important. It wasn't about proving her wrong, or making anyone feel guilty. It was about showing that what you build with honesty lasts longer than what you take for shortcuts. Because, in the end, people might take your ideas. They might doubt you. They might even laugh. But they can't take your ability to keep going. And sometimes, the truth doesn't come out immediately. But when it does, it speaks louder than anything you could have said yourself.